Let's talk now about what a president-elect Biden presidency and his policies are going to mean for your wallets. We're joined now by Jill Gonzalez. She's a senior analyst at Wallet Hub. Jill, I know that so many people have said that they are afraid once President-elect Biden takes office, and they're particularly afraid because of what it's going to mean for their finances. Now, the last time you and I spoke, you said that a Biden presidency was actually better financially if you are middle class or someone who is of a lower income. So I kind of wanted to maybe dispel some of those fears for anyone who might be at home and kind of run through, some of the policies that Joe Biden has proposed. So I want to start right now when it at least comes to taxes, because the tax cuts that Trump gave were a huge boost to him, I think, politically. So if you are someone who is in the middle class or someone who is lower income under a Biden presidency, what is your tax time going to look like?
So those tax cuts are not going away as soon as Biden comes into office. The people that should be concerned are those that are in the 1.9% that are making over $400,000 that will be charged a slightly higher tax rate, not too much higher, about 0.2%. But if you are of middle income, lower income, you should be anything but afraid. You should actually be excited for what a Biden presidency would look like, especially I think in light of coronavirus. He's giving a few different types of tax credit, or at least that is his plan. So one of them would be to informal caregivers, family members, or other loved ones that provide long-term care for the elderly, which more and more people are doing now because we don't want to be as reliant as we were on nursing homes or other long-term care facilities, because we saw what happened during a pandemic in those situations. So more elderly people are at home with loved ones. Biden is proposing a $5,000 tax credit to those people who are caring for them. So that's one huge plus, I would think.
I want to talk now about education, because student loans and student loan debt, of course, had been hugely important to a lot of folks in the run up to this election. Under a Biden presidency, what does that mean going forward if you are about to send your child or if you yourself are going to be heading to college?
So again, I think that his plans would benefit those of lower or middle income. We saw a little bit of a shift, especially in the Trump administration, when it came to things like private schools, especially K through 12 private schools, getting a little bit more funding. The shift's going to be back on K through 12 public schools. And then when it comes to public colleges and universities, it is his plan that if your family or your household makes under $125,000 annually, you would be attending a public university or college for free, which means no student loans and a severe increase in a good way in terms of student loan debt moving forward.
Really quickly now here with you, Jill, I want to focus on those that are lower income about the Paycheck Fairness Act. If you could quickly just explain for us what that means and what we might see when it comes to minimum wage going forward.
So the Paycheck Fairness Act would really look at two things overarchingly. One, it would mean a federal bump in the minimum wage to $15. We saw many states enact that just with this past election, but we're actually going to see that hopefully on the federal level under Biden. We're also going to see short-term compensation be 100% federally funded and look for participation from all 50 states, from DC, from the territories. And that short-term compensation, again, came hugely into play over the last year or so through COVID-19. It's essentially another term for layoffs and layoff programs to keep company having jobs, to lay people off and hopefully bring them back, but not essentially get rid of these jobs. So that's where President Biden elect would be, focusing a lot of his labor commitment.